5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whenever you are, wherever you are, thank you for joining the Design of Everyday People podcast, where I talk to senior designers from all over the world and where you get to literally ask them anything. So let's start by making this session interactive. As always, where are you actually tuning in from? Where are you listening to this from? Let me know in the comments. Just drop that there. And yeah, just so we're not speaking to random people or just ourselves on this, I'm always going to mute what's going on LinkedIn side. Okay, so I don't hear myself again. Great. So without further ado, you tell me where you're tuning in from, and I will start the session. This is the Design of Everyday People. All right, we have some folks already. Hello, hello. How's it going? Great. Okay. Welcome guys to how AI helps my design process. And in this it's not me, but it's Edward, but we'll bring him on later. There is a designer from Pakistan. Great. Dubai. Yes. Okay. You guys are coming in now. Dublin Island from India. Bonjour from France. Okay, everywhere, all over the world. This is good. This is good. Austin, Texas, I see on the screen as well. Great, guys. So, like always, and Spain. Okay, this is crazy. This is a truly multicultural room we're in right now. But let's start with some quick introductions. If you do not know me, I am Chris, the founder of UX Playbook. But before that, a self-taught designer struggling to get into UX. And now I spend majority of my time helping designers navigate a fuzzy UX career with UX Playbook. This is from building your first portfolio to leading your first design team. But you guys already know that if you are here. Let's bring out today's special guests and let's find out how Edward is doing. A writer, YouTuber, AI and design fusion expert. Edward is working on his AI powered micro products and he'll be sharing his AI powered design process with us. So without further ado, let's say hi to Edward and see how he's doing. Hey man, how's it going?
Everything's good, Chris. How are you?
I am well, dude. So, for the people out there that don't know you, Edward, um, tell us about yourself. What do you do? Just anything. Give yourself an introduction.
Okay, my name is Edward Chechique. I have more than 10 years of working as a product designer. Basically, after 5 years ago, I wanted to write in my blog in Medium, and I started to write, but I had a little bit of stuff of misspelling and that thing. I started to use artificial intelligence. More than 5 years using it. We started very, let's say, this was not so sophisticated like that. Today it's more crazy, and that's more or less about AI what I do. But in my work as product designer, more focus on complex product, let's say engineer and that stuff of things that not B2B, very B2C. Not B2C, very B2B stuff. So that's a little bit about myself. Now with an AI, I use a lot to create my personal project, improve processes and that stuff.
Awesome, man. Okay, so before we dive into like how you're using AI, because you've been using it far longer than most people I know, especially in your design process. But before we get into that, I just want to remind the audience that as we speak, as things pop up into your head, please drop those questions in the comments. So after when I and Edward chat, we'll open up the floor and then we'll answer all your questions. We'll bring them on screen. So anything about what we're speaking about or in general, if you have any questions about AI, let us know. Okay. So let me kick off this conversation, Edward, which is what I wrote in the LinkedIn post. Most of the times we hear, I don't know how to, or I don't use AI in my design process. And some of my assumptions of why designers say this is they're unsure where to start. They've given up at basic prompts. They need to change their workflow, so they're kind of lazy to do that. They're worried about losing an element of craft or creativity. And maybe we're just all overwhelmed with AI tools because there are so many, right? And maybe design industry is facing a Kodak moment. And if you don't know Kodak, it's a camera company that never went digital and they basically went extinct. So it's either extinct or evolution when it comes to sort of designers using AI, in my opinion. So let's actually dive straight into this. Um, where do you want to start here? Because I know we have a few topics, but like like where would you like to start, Edward?
Well, let's. Do you want to start with the simple stuff, the text things, or more or less how I think it's AI will affect the designers, something like that?
Yeah, let's do that because before the call you said, "Hey, how I think about AI is now completely different." So why don't we start there from a very high level, and then we'll drive down into like specific things people do. Yeah.
Yes. Let's say that today, if I need to do something, I just think on the idea. I don't go deeper with myself about the idea. I start to iterate with the product, with the tools. Basically, most of the time, ChatGPT, because it's a tool that I use more than 2 years. So I don't know how long. And then AI explained to me what I want to do. I just write one sentence and I start to iterate what I want to do because I don't know what I want to do. Then once it's clear for me, there is enough machines to execute my task. If it's UX pilot, for example, for interfaces, if I need something for content creation, also. So I can give an idea that something that happened this week. I make a course for AI for product designers with one designer, my friend from Madrid in Spanish. And the thing is that I had an idea to make a LinkedIn post that say that we have only 5 slots. Now, the name of my friend company is Píldoras. Píldoras in Spanish, it's pills. Okay? Pills, like medical pills. So I said, okay, we have 5 slots. And I sent a message, hey, let's do a publication. Like, we have 5 slots, but we will make an image of 5 pills inside of a box that nobody takes, still didn't take. I take the WhatsApp message, sent to ChatGPT. I said to ChatGPT, explain me what I want to do. It's explained. I said, okay, great, I understand. Now create detailed image with much idea. Create it said, okay, box with pills, 7 taken, 5 not, directly to ChatGPT, the new model 4.0, and there is an image. And it was so good that people that I'm not illustrator and it's very difficult to me, but to do it, it was so easy. But again, I had an idea, sent to my friend in WhatsApp, copy to ChatGPT, ChatGPT translate what I want to do, create a prompt for GPT-4o to create the image created, and then I need to iterate a little bit because it's not from the first time, but it was easy after that. This is most of the process. I not think, I just execute.
Uh, is there a danger of like not thinking so deeply around the problem and having the problem being fed to you or the knowledge being fed to you? Because maybe if you're not asking the right questions, if the inputs are bad, then potentially what ChatGPT spits back is also average. So do you ever worry about that when it comes to like, oh, I could just type one sentence? Because maybe sometimes one sentence might start this process, but it might not be the end all be all, right?
Um, yes, no, I'm not afraid. I mean, I explain it very easy. I just execute. But I execute to understand what I want. I make the image. I don't like the image. Ah, okay, I have another idea. So I start to iterate in the process because what happened before, as we think about design process, we need the research, then the research, and we make wireframes, blah, 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 blah. I don't like to work in that way. I never like to work in that way. Never, never, never. I execute and understand what I want for the work, not for the, you understand? And this is the process I do. I iterate a lot, but not by thinking, by doing. So I make an image. I don't like the image. I need to move the box to another place on the image. Okay, move the books. Oh, now, so I iterate, but with execution, not by thinking. And this is very different. This is what I think. I don't, it will never be one sentence of prompt. It will be get the prompt, read the result, modify the result, understand what I want. Always understand what I want. Always understand what I want to say. Ta, 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 and then execute with the chat. So it's not just not think. I think a lot, but not in the way I used before. ChatGPT helped me to think.
Right, right. I mean, I guess you could even ask ChatGPT, "Hey, I have this idea. What am I missing? Where are the gaps?" Right? Like it could also like help you spot blind spots in your own thinking or in your own hypothesis or whatever it is.
Yes, what I do, for example, I explained in very UX design. I send it screens. I said, okay, this is the screen, this is the flow. What edge cases I can have here? Because what happens when you think about edge cases? You think, okay, what the user will do? They click here, they click here. Oh no, that's what I don't do it in any way. What are the edge cases? It's give me a lot of ideas. I start to read. And very important, if you work with the chat, say to it short bullet points, because if not, it starts to write and you don't have energy to read. Short, very short bullet points, okay? And then I say, okay, this, okay, this, not. And this is the way I iterate. But imagine how fast it to work in that way instead of sit in front of the computer and start to play. And other things that you can do, okay, we'll go a little bit more. You can create the prototype and start to prototype with code, from Figma to code, start to play, and then you understand where are the problem, but not by static page. So I think this is more as the thing.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that as well. Like if I have an idea and that I have an intuition that it might work, I would love to start creating that thing because I think you're right. When a lot of the problem solving we do is in the process, because there's this like fuzzy thing, and it's like we have like an overall problem, but there's so many other little problems inside the space. So it's like if we're not working on it and in it, then it's almost impossible to discover it, right? So you're like, no, let me just go do the thing, and then a million other things that will come up that I have to solve, right? I still have to do it and learn at the same time, versus like having this like just like ethnographic study for 2 months, right, with a bunch of users, and then it's like, okay, I'm still as confused, right? You've just wasted 2 months and you haven't been building the thing that have a hypothesis on and getting real data from, maybe. So, I mean, why don't we dive there? So it's like, let's just say, you do have time and space for user interviews or speaking with people. How do you use AI to sort of help you do that?
Okay, we'll start for the beginning. First of all, in any moment, first of all, I have an idea for the interview. All the goals of the interview, user, the questions come for ChatGPT. I have some custom ChatGPT that does it, that give me questions. Communication with users, ChatGPT write emails. No, I don't. No, I'm not writing emails anymore. I created a one ChatGPT that write like me, and that's all. I copy all the message. I just think about what I want to say, not. And okay, that's all. Next, there's transcription of the interview automatically directly to ChatGPT bullet points, but not only bullet points. Where is the pain points of the user? Explain what the user say that because of think you as ChatGPT think it's a pain point. And if you work with another person, this is a little bit difficult. Maybe it will be more advanced. You can ask ChatGPT during the interview what I need to ask the user. But this is advanced because we cannot do it today, but we will be able to do it. So imagine that you talk with me in the interview, and then the chat give you ideas of what to ask. It's analyze always the interview. This does not exist now. This is something that came to my mind now. So now when we talk. So this is the process. You see, everything AI. I'm not do nothing with AI. It's not exist. All to format the documents go to AI. the title, subtitle, copy everything to canvas of ChatGPT format, copy paste. That's all. So imagine how much time I can save. I save basically in the process.
So much. Question about this. What about sort of human what about what the humans aren't saying? Like facial stuff, like, feeling like whatever, like when you're asking them, uh how is that recorded, or can AI record that?
I didn't use tools that does it, but I think there is some tools that does it. I am more advanced for user UX research. Yes, it's possible to do it if the person lying, maybe it's difficult in the interview. We are not the police here, but but the thing is that if they are shy to say something, the AI will detect. I mean, it will detect because then it's recognize every movement in our face, so this I believe it exists, but I don't know if up to certain level you can use it today, but give it 6 months.
Yeah. So okay, so what would you say if a UX researcher who has been doing this for, 20 years of her life, and they say, "Yeah, but how could you trust AI to summarize, to extract the insights? Do you trust it? Surely you have to go through everything again. Are you sure it's the right insight?"
Yes, basically I trust it more than the bias of human. To be honest, I very direct. I mean, I use it a lot, so I see the advance. But basically, what happened, for example, I can tell you real use case. When I search for work, um, there are three questions that I ask always. What is the salary? What the company does? If the work is remote or not. So I give it to read the description of the work. But I did it a little bit more advanced. I said to, if you said the work is remote, show me the exact text from the job description they said it. I trust it, but not 100%. If you said it for me one thing, you need to show me exactly the text. And from here come the trust,
Yeah.
because I had the same questions. How I can sure that, it, okay, so that's the thing. To ask for the exact words the user said on the interview.
Yeah. Yeah, tools like Bretta AI, Dovetail, and I'm sure many other user research tools, they have this already, right? Transcription of interviews with highlights, and if you click on the insight, then it takes you to that point in the video because you fed the video up there, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, they actually said that. So I think, yeah, that definitely helps with trust. So um, got it. And yeah, one thing that was really interesting here, because I know that people are working on this solution, especially when it comes to like user interviews. Would you trust an AI to interview a user?
Yes, more than person, and I will say that more than that. I write it also in LinkedIn. I prefer, for example, make an interview with AI HR than human.
Mm,
Basically, like that, and I explain why. I explain why it will be hard some people, but I'm very direct about that. When I talk about HR because a lot of people search for work. They will understand what I explain now. The UX industry we are now there. When you talk, for example, with HR, many times they don't understand UX, and they have questions they read from paper or a screen. And I explain them, and I understand from their answer that they are not understand what I say, so they cannot ask me again. And I feel very frustrated about that, because at the end, if you ask me about design, you not understand design. What you about you why you ask? Understand?
yeah,
So no, but it's true. If you want to interview me about my personality, go away. Go to the point. I have no problem for that. But if you ask me about design, be professional. So because of that, I said I prefer the AI, because when I prepare for interviews, the AI knows what I talk, so it's more comfortable, to be honest, to talk in that way to a machine instead of human. Sorry about that, but this I talk very very clearly about this stuff.
No, dude, I actually agree with you. I think yeah, culture fit interviews, sure, like human, fine, right? But yeah, with like specific technical interviews, at the beginning of the process when it is HR, I completely agree with you. And I could even imagine a world where all the interviews are done with AI, apart from the last round, right? Where you actually get to meet someone. But the 90% of it is actually AI. That could be better for also like introverts as well, where you don't have to like jump on a call in a panel of like four other people, and they're just like super nervous because it's like they've been put on the spot, pressure, right? It could be different forms like that. So yeah, I'm with you. So okay, want to kind of shift gears a bit. We spoke about user research, user interviews, how you could use AI to extract the data, and just basically do more in less time. You briefly touched on this, like using AI as a design sparring partner. Um, why don't we talk more about that? What do you mean when you say like sparring partner?
What I want to say that I'm not design. I try not design anymore. I start to be only the curator. I say it in English. The person that select the work. If we are in the museum, I give it a brief, give it the style, design, and then I iterate. Sometimes I ask it to iterate with prompt. Sometimes I take it to Figma and start to move the boxes by myself. I not never start design. If I have PRD or user story, that doesn't matter how I call it. I injected it directly to a AI tool. You can use, for example, UX Pilot. The good thing in UX Pilot, for example, that you have a design system inside. You can add your design system. Not 100% work, okay, still. But why I need to move all the? I just send it. Give me ideas, and then I will iterate. But I'm not start never for PRD and start to move the boxes by myself, especially for product that exist.
Yeah.
Not needed.
Okay. All right. What happens if I don't know if you've ever come across this, but what happens if I'm a client and I'm like, "What? You're not doing any of the work yourself?" What would you say if they're pissed that you're using like all these AI tools to produce the design when I've clearly paid you, the designer? Would you like? How would you kind of deal with that?
I said him, if you want, it will take 1 month. It will cost more. If you want, it will cost 1 week. It will cost less, but it will be the same work more or less. You can select. Select 1 week. What the thing is that the shift of the paradigm is that the thing is that I need to deliver fast with more quality, and that's only AI tools can give me. There is no tools that can give me that stuff. So why to work hard? I don't understand it. Put effort and how to market, how to go to the people. Well, you want to make change on the product? It's very easy. Just it's one prompt, you can change it. And I know people will say, no, no, enterprise product, it's we cannot do it now. Okay, in 1 year you will be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do it by yourself. Go to Bolt, Loveable, create a product. Look, it's one click. I mean, okay, again, simple product, not something complex. I agree now, not maybe not enterprise level, but I remember 5 years ago it was not able to write a code. I remember I used it. What we can do now, it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. So that's the thing. Um,
Mm. Yeah, and like I think I've been at that situation, and I'm sure you have as well, where you're kind of like walking a stakeholder through your designs, right? You're saying, okay, look, here are a couple of versions. Here's the flow. Like, what do you think about it? And then they're always like, what happens if this happened? Like they tell you another scenario. They're like, what about if you add this? Like they're giving like direct feedback on the design, and they want to see a different version or a different sort of way to solve the same problem. But I think the benefit is also like actually showing stakeholders how you design with AI. Just be like, oh yeah, you want to see a different version? Give me 1 second, and then you just type that prompt in and be like, oh, what do you think about that? It didn't take me, usually it takes you 3 days. Took me like what 2 minutes, and then they would see like that kind of value, right? Have you done that to clients before? I
Uh,
don't know if you're still doing client work. Be like, look, it's so easy now. Like, what do you want to do?
I did I did it a lot for myself because the simple product that I do for myself now, I want to change something, want to see another way, just prompt. And I don't because I do simple product, I not use Figma anymore. I have a design system inside no design system. The CSS is that configured tokens and that stuff, so I don't need to to explain a lot of stuff. Okay, make a change and just like that. That's the not prototypes, another fork of the software, and I test. And if it's work. I mean, that's again, I do micro products now for myself, but basically, enterprise will be able to do it also. Maybe it will take more time to write the code because it's a lot of code and you need very complex, not complex, more advanced AI models that are more expensive. Okay, I understand it. But again, give it in 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
It will happen.
So you're doing micro products for yourself. So how do you go? Oh, how do you use AI and go from like idea to app? Like, what? Talk to me about. Give me an example of one of the products that you're working on, or that you. Yeah.
Okay. I started a YouTube video channel, okay? And I wanted to know um, what titles work well. So I can go and ask for guides. And I don't have energy to read all the stuff. What I do now is like that. I wanted to scrap all the I don't know 100 titles for the best creators, 5, 7, 6 creators. It's 500 titles. It's a lot. Okay, I can use Bardin to make the scrapping. I start to use it, but then paywall, and so I don't have energy to pay. I say, why I need it? I know how to do it. I open Windsurf, I think, explained it. This is the page. This is a selector. People that not know what is selector. Selector is it's in the HTML the exact information that I want. Okay, so this is a selector. Create me a scrapper for 100 for a scrapper for this for the titles of YouTube. And I said, okay, but one moment, how many titles I want? Add an input. You see, I not go to Figma directly to I directly test the product. I mean, and then okay, but I want it in that page in another page. Okay, add this page because sometimes you want to scrap the page of the person, sometimes for the search. So it's a different URL. Okay, and start to build it like that. Tick, 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 tick. And now I built one GPT that scrap. I mean, simple software that scrap all the titles. Then after that, I moved to ChatGPT, write me a guide with all these titles. And now the only thing that I do, push the transcription, and it's give me 10 titles. Work well. I mean, I gained 3,000 followers more or less in 1 month and a half. So work, it's work. So
Do you plan to release these tools? Because I need it. Just yeah, I need something like
I
that. Yeah.
basically I can release it to the Chrome extension if people want. The thing is that I need to. What happened is that I need to to make it more, let's say, general. Because what I did now, I did it only for me. So I said, okay, only this title, this page. Yes, but it's possible to. Basically, I can release them and I can ask for money for people. To be honest, these things.
Yeah.
Also for again, a part of that, what I did it the same with the thumbnails. Download, and then after that, I move all the information to Google Sheet.
Mm.
Okay, with the thumbnails, but I wanted the image. So I write with ChatGPT script for a Google Sheet. If somebody don't know what is script, in Google Sheet, you can add simple software to execute tasks for you. Okay. And I said, okay, this is the table, column F, there is images, download all of them in zip file. And I have 100 thumbnails. And I have many ideas to how to make thumbnails for YouTube video.
Right. Right.
But it's one click. I mean, not, and that's what I mean, micro tools that I build.
Right. And you typically build them for your own use case, right? Like you're like, there's a problem. How do I do this more efficiently? And you're like, then you build them. So I guess you have like, how many of these micro tools have you built for yourself over the 5 years that you've been using AI?
Uh, No, it's to be honest, I built 2 years ago one for Figma, one extension, not extension, now we call it plugins. But because now Windsurf and Cursor, I built in 1 month 6 or 7. Every
Yeah.
time I need a tool, I not buy it anymore. But to be honest, I don't have energy to find the tool that I need. I just explain to the Windsurf what I need to build. Most of the time, it work Chrome extension because it's easy to execute, and it's build it to me. I make iteration. That's all. Only to find the tool to pay take me more time than build it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's true.
that's cool. And yeah, yeah, on that sort of train of thought, like obviously you're not the only one with this specific problem, right? Titles and thumbnails, right? That could be its own SaaS product. There's probably a bunch of SaaS products out there like that. Are you planning to ever productize these kind of micro tools into like a portfolio of tools? Like it could be, for example, everybody has subscription fatigue, right? So it's like, no, I don't want to build a SaaS. Like, I don't want a subscription. You buy it for $100, you can use it forever, right? And that is pretty compelling. And I've seen a lot of sort of indie hackers do this kind of thing. Have you thought about that, like rolling up your micro tools into a portfolio or
Yes,
bundling? Yeah,
I want to do it. The only thing that I need is developer, not because for myself I trust it work,
yeah,
but if I launch it, needs to take care here because I'm not a developer and I don't have the level I mean I can put it on the Chrome extension. It's a work, people will use it, but because I come from product design, I little bit I have I take the grand of salt about that. But yes, basically, if I have a developer that work with me, I can launch them, and then we can launch it like how we call it in Spain, churros, like people from Spain will understand, like popcorn, very fast. Let's say
yeah.
something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. And I mean, I think there's a bunch of questions in the chat about like tools and stuff, but just let me ask this and then we can go into specific questions. What are like your favorite AI tools that are out right now, or which ones are you watching that you're like, oh, it shows promise, but it's not there yet? What are some on top of your mind?
ChatGPT work well, especially the 4.0. Uh, let's say I use UX Pilot. I work with them a little bit, so I like the product. It solved me also problems. Many AI tools that use now for code, for Figma to code. Lovable, Bold, V0. I don't know. I tested new one that I don't remember the name. They give me an access to test the beta version, alpha version, not the beta. All the tools that take Figma and convert to code, I love it. I love it. I mean, if people didn't do it, go to Loveable Bolt, I don't know, import one Figma file and create a code. That's that's amazing. I mean, these two I love. So, but basically, ChatGPT I like a lot. UX Pilot, as I said, I work with them a little bit. I love the tool, and all the tools that convert Figma to code today, all of them are good. All of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Um, let's go to some of our questions. I know that there's a stream of consciousness coming in. I guess there's this one first. Okay, based on your experience, what's the best AI tool for creating high quality images?
1 week ago, free pick from 4.0. But I will say something about free pick. If you want to use the good, first of all, 4.0 of OpenAI is the best AI model now. Point, there is no competition here. The thing is that the model I mean, every time there is another model that go make better job. If you want to test a lot of them, I pay for free pick because they have all the AI model and all the AI video that you need, and you can test all of them. So, for example, in FreePick, I train my images to make an avatar like me, and it's worked best. I mean, I use it for my thumbnails of YouTube. So, these two, okay, these two,
So that's a free pick, and then obviously ChatGPT 4.0, right?
yes.
Great. Um, how do you decide when to use those quick solutions versus traditional research? This is at the beginning of our conversation. Like, when do you do either?
No, I just work with AI. I use so much to work with AI. I'm not. I will never write a question myself. Only tweak. Never write email. Never write. If I need to write an email, I not write it. I just explain to the machine what I want. Everything is AI. To be honest, I can take it step further and build a machine that make 80% of the task today. Possible to do it. Possible. Possible. 100% possible to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
So
be interesting.
always.
Yeah, imagine if you could like make this like an enterprise offering. It's like, well, what does a UX designer do? I could build something that replaces him. How much is a UX design salary in America? Like average, maybe like 100K. It's like you can, replace 80K of that, right? Interesting.
Yes, but this basically, I think this is the work of the designer today. If I have a company today, I take a person with a designer that build the tools that replace designers, and the designers will build tools that work for them. This what I think will happen. And basically, what I do now, basically, it's only I don't have something that connect all the stuff that I do, because one, it's another software, another, so it's a little bit chaos for me. But one person that they can make it solid can solve 80% of the work of the designer today. I
That's super
mean, automatic by a machine, and I'm sure about that. I'm sure about that. Sure about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is there I'm going to ask a question here, which is there a preferred input from you? Do you like talking to AI or do you prefer just typing?
I prefer to depend. Most of the time I write, but it's because I prefer to talk. But I need. But the thing is that type it's more easy in terms of the chat. It's open. I just type something and continue. But if I need to make a design thinking, I open the chat and start to talk with it. Start to talk with it, because talking it's easy than typing, but depend on the task. If it's something small, type. If I need to something to think, start to talk with it. For example, I needed to understand something about some stuff on AI, some technical stuff. I don't have energy to read so much information, so I start to talk and ask questions. Okay, make me an analogic. I don't understand. Explain it like a 5 years old. Okay, I understand. Explain now like 15 years old. Okay, I understand now. So I both of them I like small things. Text. If I need something more to talk, I talk.
Mm, mm. I have a question here that says, how do you balance AI assistance with human creativity when working in cross-functional teams based on your experience?
Um, I just take what the AI does. I mean, and add my input always. I take what the AI does, add my input, and continue for them. It's a co-worker. It's like one person. It's not a person. One, but okay, one another designer in my team that helps me, and I can. I mean, you want something is in funny. Some times ago, when I have a work to do, and one of my teammates asked me if they can use type of typography in some product. Okay, I don't want to make details. And I don't. Who will read now all the license? Okay, so what I take all the license to ChatGPT. This is the questions. Yes or not? Not. Okay, explain exactly where it's in the text. Copy paste to the person. You have the answer. You understand? Not I give me a task. I'm not saying yes or no. Just paste it to ChatGPT, take the solution, and send it to the person. I believe this more or less. If I write if I answer the question well, I'm not sure about it, but let's see.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
what you said, Edward, was like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away creativity, right? Like you still
no.
need to know what to ask, how to use it. So it doesn't really take away human creativity. But then the other constraint is like, how does everybody use it? Because maybe everybody in the future or where we're going has their own personal GPT, right? So then how do you then bring all of those GPTs together and have a team GPT and then roll that up into a squad GPT or a company GPT, right? Or whatever.
Yes, you can think about Cursor, for example. I not know what they have inside, but I think they have 30 employees, and they have one. I think I don't remember, but it's 100 millions ARR. ARR is annual recurrent revenue, with 33 people or something like that. So so I'm not inside, but I'm sure they use type of something to write the code, or to make it's to make $1,000 million 34 people 33 people. No, I don't think that it's possible on the humans. This is my guess. I must say, but I don't know. But I mean, they take the advantage. They have a great product, by the way.
Yeah. I also think that this question kind of triggers the idea of, like, let's just say we are in person in the company, and we're in a meeting room running a workshop, right? Things we love to do, right? Collaborate, bring people together, work on ideas together. There's no sort of barrier of having an AI in that room record everything we say. So if we ever miss anything or want to recall it, we can just chat to it, right? Be like, okay, well, but what about this idea that I thought of, right? Instead of us, we can still do the sticky note thing, right? We can still brainstorm on the whiteboard, but having, some uh, thing that could listen, maybe have eyes and record, would just be like so good, because nobody, like, as designers, we spend hours like summarizing a workshop, right? Imagine we just don't have to do that anymore and we can just move to the next step. So I don't think it limits human creativity. I think it just adds to it, or our creativity could be funneled elsewhere, right? On things that potentially move the needle more.
Yes, I think for me it's moved me to be more creative. I think now, and I explain it easy. I write a lot of comments in LinkedIn, and I because that's the algorithm work. If you don't know, if you write a lot of comments and move the stuff, your post will be more visible, something like that in LinkedIn. One of the factors. So I will not sit and write comments. And what I can write something important. What I can say about post a person if I not really want to say something. So I built a ChatGPT that writes funny stuff.
I
All
love
my
it.
comments are funny, and what happened now after that is that I start to understand that I start to write without the chat in that way. I mean,
Mm.
I understood how. So for so many times to execute, sometimes I not send the information to the chat. I know how to write something funny about that, and you can see that in my comments. Sometimes 5 likes, 6 likes, 2 likes. I mean, people engage with these comments. So I think it's work. I think it's work. So this, if I mean, about creativity, it's not it's something funny for me, but I use it as a creative accelerator for my brain, because I understood it's like you have a funny friend. At the end, you study for the friend to be funny. It's the same, more or less the same.
Right, right. So it's kind of like, it could be a creativity flywheel. It could like build up itself, right? Like if there's new
Mhm.
or different inputs, then you could be more creative. That's interesting. Uh, I like this one here. What different AI tools you use as a daily driver? You mentioned ChatGPT, of course. Are there any other like sort of daily tools that you live in?
A lot ChatGPT, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I don't know how many. I make every conversation with it. ChatGPT a lot. I said before, FreePic I like, especially for editing, because they have a lot of editing tools. At the end, I like it. For Screen UX Pilot works well. Also, Relume works well for if you want landing pages. It's not 100% AI, but I think the combination between AI and human selection there is great. It's one of the products that I like very much, how they integrate AI with human selections that work well. These the tools, but to be honest, more than 50% of the time, not 50, not 50, 75% of the time, ChatGPT.
Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We have another question here. Which AI do you use for UX design? I think we spoke about that, or UX audit. How about UI iterations? Is it all ChatGPT?
No. AI iteration, you need to work. What depend on the stuff that I want to do. For example, if I want to discover visual ideas, I create wireframe, send it to ChatGPT. You can do it for ChatGPT, for example, because it's very simple. Make it in no brutalism, like it in glassmorphism, like it's, and you start to think what best for the brand, for example. Again, it's not copy and paste, it's only to iterate visual to understand what you want to do. If you want to go to details, you can, but it's only to think. I like to think with it, to think visually. For example, another, I explain what I mean by think. I had a term that I didn't understand in AI, something very technically. So I said to you, okay, take the text, make an image that explain me the text. Once it's create the image, I understand what it's talk about. So that's more or less, you know. And as I said, this is the way more or less I use it for AI UI iterations. Also, if post for LinkedIn, one of the posts that I think in Sunday I upload a post that get I don't know how views, and basically iterate with ChatGPT to create me the visual design of the post.
Hmm.
I said it make no brutalist design. I said, oh, I like this one. Let's take it. I start to iterate in Figma. I move stuff, change the colors, but the basic idea, it gave me the basic idea. You can think about it. When I study the past industrial design, the best in industrial design has some normally students that sketch for them. They came from an idea, and the students sketch for them 100 sketch, 2000 sketch, many sketch, and they select one for it. The same thing. You have an assistant that give you ideas. You take them and elaborate above, something like that.
We have a question around what do you think of the tool Loveable?
Lovely. I use it for myself. I paid 1 month now to test it more deeply. Good work. The team there did very good job also for import for Figma. They did a good job there. I
How do
want to take it
you,
further.
yeah, like
Go.
what's the comparison between Lovable and Bolt.new? Because I know they are very similar, right?
More or less the same. There is no, what happened now is that one company make a feature, one day after the other company make so there is not a lot of difference in the tool. Basically what happened now, I think in UX tool, the newsletter that if you are not, I mean, I think this is one of the best newsletters that exists for UX designer. I said it now. They talk about the thing that if every people can build a product, the only difference is the brand.
Mm.
So we can think about it in that way. If there is no bugs, because they will fix the bugs. If you can copy feature in 1 minute, what is different between the tools? Pricing okay, but basically the brand, more or less.
Follow-up question here is, can you use AI to build like a very long-lasting brand or a brand that people trust?
You can do it. You can do it. I mean, you can do it. You need to iterate a little bit. Don't think that you can copy and paste. Yes, you can. You can do it, and I don't. Not a lot of people know it, but in they think about GPT 4.0 with the images, you know. But basically, if you will enter to Sora, you will be able to generate their images. And if you enter to Sora, you will see that you have custom instruction that you can add. Take your brand, add five, six visual, explain the brand guidelines there, and ask it for advertisement. You will see that it will give you 85% of the work.
I'm gonna try that. I'm actually because I'm going through a rebranding exercise, so I would love to sort of get interesting inputs and not to scroll the internet and find stuff, but to like kind of generate some stuff. Yeah, I think it'd be
but,
interesting.
but you can do it more advanced. What emotions you want that the brand will say?
Mm.
Talk with the chat. Take this one. Say, okay, make me guideline based on that our talk. Take it to ChatGPT and create. Start to iterate visuals.
Yeah.
Not like in the past that we did. No, final result. And from the final result, you take to make the logo well and the colors and that stuff. But for iteration,
Hmm.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's do one last question. Um, let's do this one. Any AI tools that can perform a deep analysis of a design and create a report like heat maps, A/B testing, so like the audit question similar to one we've had before.
Yes, there is some. I didn't use them, but I will tell another things that maybe can be interesting for people. Connect. I don't know if it's possible to do, but if you connect your data to OpenAI model, ask it to analyze, not before you launch. Just launch and see what people say. Because you cannot understand people, although maybe in the future, the machine, if you have data of your work, I mean, it will work, but it will not work because you need good data. What it will do, it will take data from all over the internet, said, okay, if you click near the button, it will be more probably people. But if you take real data from your product, train a model, not a train, fine tune a model or something like that, and then make this tool, it will work. You know what I mean? It needs to be accurate. If it's not accurate, it will give you a result, but I will not trust it.
Yeah, that makes sense. If um if I said to you that you can't use AI in the next 2 years, what what would be your reaction, Edward? Because clearly you've been using it for like every day since whenever. Would it make you a little bit sort of afraid of the world, afraid of going, back to work? Like, how will it actually make you feel like emotionally?
No, not possible. No, I cannot work without the AI. It's why I take my hand. I cannot work because I understand how much fast I work now. For example, now when I create content, many companies send me emails, hey, promote my product. I don't have energy to not that I don't not because I don't want to give them all my attention. I don't have so much energy to give my attention. So I build the boot, send the message, said what I want to do. For example, 5 emails in 2 minutes, like Fabric, and I can do it more if I pay to Google OneDrive. The tools of Google, I don't remember the name. I will able to do it directly from the chat for the mail.
Right.
Not, not enough to pay to product.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of sold. I think after this conversation, I'm actually gonna look at like things I'm doing now that I don't enjoy and that I could basically not like automate, but basically do it a lot quicker. And then eventually, if I want to automate it, I probably should, right? If I don't want to repeat that again. Yeah.
Yes, I can tell you, for example, I have video, but I want to make a LinkedIn carousel because it's performed well. So I build a machine that take the transcript, create the text for the carousel, and then with plugin for Figma, I use the Excel to fill all the visuals. Again, it's not. I mean, we can do it with one click, but I need to connect all the tools. But one it's in Figma, one is there, so maybe a developer will solve it. But basically, what I want to say, possible to automate most of the work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. And so now, do you spend more time like building these micro tools than you do actually like doing the manual stuff? And you're just like, that's a micro tool idea there, that's a micro tool idea there. And is that what you spend most of your time doing these days?
Yes, I do a lot because I want to understand how to do it. To be honest, sometimes I have tasks that I can do by myself, but I force myself to use the tools because it's enough for me. Let's say school to how to use AI models. So that's what, for example, I very interesting stuff. I did a webinar last week about AI and design, and I have some Google PowerPoint that I did in the past. I need to modify, but I want to have a gradient on the text, But in Google Slide, it's not support. So I built extension inside Google Slides to make gradients. It's take to me half an hour, something like that. More fast than move all day presentation to Figma. Faster than.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, dude. Okay, well, I mean, we're almost at time, but I just kind of want to finish this off by saying, yeah, you've definitely persuaded me in terms of like just listening to your experience and how you think about this to use it more in daily life, not just like ask it something, output something, but actually make it more useful and integrate it into actual workflow stuff, and also be a little bit more, ambitious with what I can do. Because I think a lot of people out there is just like, yeah, well, we've heard what it can do, but we don't actually like. It's hard to kind of, you know, have real examples of what people are doing. I mean, you hear about it, but it doesn't seem that achievable or accessible. But you're saying it absolutely is. Is just about, um, can you just be lazy enough not to do the thing, and then to build something once, spend time on it one
Yes.
time, and then just do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but you can take it also not for make process better. You can make marketing better with that. For example, you show people how to make portfolios. Okay, why not to build a portfolio site that in one click you change from simple design, no brutal design, glass more freedom design, and you say to the person, okay, what design you want to use in this software? You can click here and all the portfolio will change to another visual design. For marketing stuff, not only for, to sell something. That's what I think about it.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Oh, dude, thank you so much for like coming on and agreeing to do this. Before we let you go and finish this session, is there anything you want to plug? Like, tell the people where they can find you. Tell them what you're working on. I'll let you have the floor, but tell the audience where they can find you and all that stuff that you're working on.
Yes, in LinkedIn you can find me, and YouTube also. You can find me in LinkedIn, in YouTube, and I write in Medium, but now I write less. But if you want to see my work, YouTube and LinkedIn, I post in LinkedIn every day. YouTube I try to do three times a week, and basically in YouTube I show a lot of tools of AI and how I work them. Very short tutorials, not fluff. I mean, not cream. It's very go to the details, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and that's all. So here where you can find me.
Nice. Okay. So guys, go check out Edward's YouTube channel and his LinkedIn. If you want to learn more about this stuff, and I'm sure you show folks how to build it, like you're actually doing it at the same time and talking
Yes.
about it, right? So it's going to be super practical if you want to experiment. And I think everybody should, like, based on your appetite, solve one little problem that you have with AI, and then you can go into bigger and better problems, right? So, Edward, again, thank you very much, dude. I'm gonna take you off stage, but give me a couple of minutes to just wrap up this session, and we'll just have a
Okay.
quick debrief. We'll have a chat after. If you're okay, you can stick around. Is that okay?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Let's chat after. All right. Thank you again.
Thank. Bye.
Bye, dude. All right, guys. So, just some housekeeping for us before we go, which is, yep. If, okay, this is not good. That's today. Anyway, if you like conversations like this and you want to get notified for the next one, you can scan that QR code or go to live.uxplaybook.org. Again, let me show it on screen. If you want to get notified for more conversations like this, where I speak to senior designers from all over the world and where you get to ask them anything, it's an AMA like always. So we speak to a bunch of folks. We've spoken to Kate, ex Meta, we've spoken to Bob, ex Apple, just a bunch of really awesome designers from the field. So if you're into it, I would appreciate you subscribe, and then you also get notifications. This is also recorded, so if you haven't, if you want to replay some of the stuff that Edward said, you could always go back on YouTube or on LinkedIn. That's up to you. So let's talk about the next session. The next session is actually next week. Around the same time, I am speaking to Will King. He is a design engineer. So half designer, half coder. And if you're wondering why this sort of job description or role is growing so fast in our field, where a designer also codes or a coder also design, then tune into that. Or if you're interested in how do I become a design engineer, what's the future, what's the career roadmap, what does the day-to-day look like, then tune in to that next week. So without further ado, until next time, bye. This is the design of everyday people.
It sound right, boy.